there was a alleged book of past lovers that
You won't say it, I'll say it. Sex diary.
messages Meghan and says, I have this. And all of a sudden she's willing to communicate with him, and she instructs him to hand this over to someone else.
There is also another diary, Dan. This is not the only one from Trevor, and this other person could make a lot of money as well.
Breaking today, claims that Meghan Markle's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, got back in contact with the fake Duchess after the discovery of a so-called sex diary that outlined Meghan Markle's previous conquests. Now, I have to be very clear, this claim does not suggest that Trevor Engelson was at all attempting to turn on his ex-wife, the woman who, let's just remember, he would have every right to, given she returned the engagement ring via post, having dumped him by text message. No. He was actually trying to protect her and reached out. But you know, with Meghan, once she's ghosted someone, it doesn't matter what they try to do. They are out of her life forever. So we're going to get into this revelation, what it potentially means, and get analysis from royal YouTube sensation P-Dina imminently. We're also going to hear today from Patrick J. Adams, one of Meghan Markle's former Suits co-stars, who I think has also revealed that he has now been cut out of the world of Meghan. But first, the sex diary revelation made by royal YouTuber Kinsey Schofield in a conversation with the New York Post columnist Maureen Callahan, host of the Nerve podcast. Watch.
Have we talked about the major solid that Trevor did her after that indignity?
Where there was a alleged book of past lovers that
You won't say it, I'll say it. Sex diary. Go ahead.
Meghan was asked a friend to clear out some of her. Meghan asked a friend to clear out her storage unit and some of her things, allegedly in LA when she was moving to London to be with Harry. And a friend found an old diary that had some lists in it and some achievements. And that friend allegedly called Trevor and said, look, guess what I found? What should I do with this? I know a tabloid would love it. And Trevor, being the gentleman and good guy that he is, who'd been ignored by Meghan for years at this point, completely ghosted, somehow says, bring it to me, let me have it, gets his hands on it, messages Meghan and says, I have this. And all of a sudden she's willing to communicate with him, and she instructs him to hand this over to someone else or to put it in some
Doubtless the United States Embassy.
Yeah. Anyway, he takes care of what could have been an extremely problematic scenario for Meghan, allegedly. But it's an example of what a good human.
Yeah, I mean, look, P-Dina, I do believe Trevor Engelson is a good headline. I mean, a good human. How many headlines could he have received over the past few years? How much money could he have made over the past few years? And he has maintained a dignified silence and now has a much happier life. But again, this does just feel like Meghan not treating someone who really looked after her in an appropriate manner.
Well, there is also another diary, Dan. And I know on good accord that there is another diary that exists that has not been released as well.
Wow.
So this is not the only one from Trevor, and this other person could make a lot of money as well from this other diary. So there is a lot out there. Let's just say that this is the first of many. So yeah, he's a good guy, and I think Meghan really should be very appreciative of the fact that this man is not going to out her and do things that he could do to really damage her reputation even more. But there's others as well. There's another person too that has a very detailed diary about Meghan.
And you think that might emerge?
I think it could. Absolutely. I think at the right time, it could. And it would be very detrimental to Meghan.
And I mean, remember, she also claims to have her own diary, P-Dina, from her
Yes,
time
yes.
within the British royal family, which she has threatened to release.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So this is Megan's wheelhouse. This is what she does with these diaries. And I can only imagine from when she was in her early 20s, the things that she has documented and written, and, how her past could truly come back to haunt her from what she has put in these diaries that she is very, known to keep. So, Megan is walking a very tightrope around, the past, things that she has done. And I'm surprised that how she treats people, knowing that, she could be even damaged even more with her reputation by how she treats people. But I think she just seems to know that people are not going to do that to her. But you can never be too sure about anything because, look, Megan is just not a very nice person, because we know if she had the opportunity to do it, she would do it. And we know her book is going to come talking and saying lies about the royals. So, what will come out eventually about Meghan, I think really just depends on a lot of things.
Well, and remember too, Jessica Reed Krause, the brilliant citizen journalist of the House and Habit Substack, has been working on this 8-year investigation into Meghan Markle's yacht girl past, and she is promising to publish that too, and she insists that she has receipts. So I think there is much more to come. It's really fascinating to me, though, P-Dina, how a lot of people in Meghan Markle's past who know a lot of shit, right, she doesn't attempt to keep on side. And we saw that again this week in the interview with Patrick J. Adams, who was her closest on-screen co-star in Suits, her on-screen lover, I believe, who sat down with Amanda Hirsch for the Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast. And I think really showed that Meghan wasn't nice to him on set. Number one, was eye-rolling at him all the time. Number two, they're not really tight anymore. They're not really in touch. Now, he was very careful about how he did this, and you've sort of got to read between the lines. You've also got to note the fact that Amanda Hirsch is a big Sussex squaddy. She is a total Meghan Markle obsessive who Meghan has manipulated by sending her free product. But I still found this interview pretty fascinating. So firstly, hear him talk about how Meghan used to eye roll at him on the set of Suits.
And I still think every time I go to your Instagram that your bio, which is the other guy.
I gotta change that.
No, you cannot change it. It'll be bad luck.
Yeah. Well, now I got a new show. Now we gotta live in the
No, that is true.
Oh, yeah, it's
so yeah. The other guy from that show that you're watching on that app, because that girl married that prince. So that you wrote when the show was having the moment.
I guess so. Yeah. Right. I must have been during the resurgence. Yeah. It's the sort of thing that wherever Meghan is, if she's ever read that, she's got, Patrick, give me a break.
Oh, she has.
I got a lot of eye rolls. That was a constant with Meghan. Just a lot of rolling her eyes at me, like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Did she ever say anything about the bio?
No, never. No. But I'm sure I got an eye roll.
If I see you change it, it'll be like a very sad day.
Literally yesterday or 2 days ago, I was like, I have to change that. So it's gonna have to change soon. Yeah, it's gonna go.
It's gonna go.
We've got to.
Okay, so P-Dina, I mean, I've got more to show you, but to me, I was reading between the lines and I thought, she wasn't nice on that set, was she? We are on a mission to 700,000 subscribers, so I need you to do something for me right now. It is free, it is easy, it is simple. Just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That's because over 50% of you watching this video haven't done that yet, and it is the best way to support Outspoken. We're totally independent, by the way. No big tech backing, no billionaires pulling the strings. And if you turn on the bell, you'll get alerted to all our new videos.
I think subconsciously, yeah, there are a lot of things that have happened that shows Meghan's behavior and how we see her today. Like, they're just things that come out when he's talking that really allude to, yeah, she's just not a very nice kind of person. and he has felt the brunt of Meghan when he made that post on social media and she told him to remove it. So he's going to walk very carefully in what he says, but it's just like, it just happens to come out that, by him casually talking, that she really wasn't that nice of a person, so that really shows you, yeah, she really was not a great kind of a person to be with on the set, even though he's trying to speak nicely about her. It just comes through like how she really was when he's talking about her. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. And then he also spoke with her about what he did, or shall I say, did not receive in the Was Never rollout.
But I will ask you this. Has she ever written you a handwritten note?
In my life?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure I got a handwritten note. Impeccable handwriting.
Because I got one. That was my way to share that with you.
For a thank you. Did you interview her?
No.
What did you get?
Did
you get a jam?
I got a jam.
Did you?
I got a jam.
You got a jam?
I know. I'm on the very... You didn't get a jam?
No, I didn't get a jam.
Shut up.
No jam.
You didn't even get the sprinkles?
I didn't get anything.
I got the sprinkles. No. I got the whole fucking thing.
I don't have enough followers, I don't think.
No, first of all, you need to get on the list. Hello, everybody.
Jams still happening? Are we still getting jams?
There was the first one and then the apricot. I don't know if there's a new jam.
How was the jam? Be real.
So I didn't open it out of like,
you're treating it like a champagne?
No, it's like in the box. And her letter to me is in a separate box.
Wow. Okay.
Of letters from people, because I don't have letters.
You don't have a lot of...
No, I have like my friend's family birthday, but I was like, I need a new box for a Meghan letter.
Yeah. Her writing is like truly a work of art. It's crazy. It's astonishing.
Then after I got that, I understood, and people had told me, because of course I posted it, because, and everyone's like, yeah, she studied calligraphy or whatever.
Right, but
so I don't
remember the story, but she like just did that on her own, right? She was just like, I just want to do that.
Yeah.
It's something like she worked have that skill
in it or something.
I think she did for a second. Yeah.
So you have handwritten notes.
I can't think of one that I have, but I'm sure she's written. Yes, over the years. Yeah, for sure. Like start gifts and wrap gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
See, you didn't know how I was going to approach that, but I did.
No.
Number one, I don't believe that he has handwritten notes. I just don't, based on that conversation. I also, P-Dina, don't think that he was telling a lie when he said, I didn't get one because I didn't have enough followers. Like, he is not important enough for Meghan Markle. She looks down on her former Suits stars.
Right. That's exactly what I was saying. Like, he inadvertently says something pretty negative about Meghan and how uppity she is, that, oh, maybe I don't have enough followers, because he knows, all right? He knows Meghan is this very pretentious person, and she would only want to be with people who have enough followers. And so he says it so casually, but then says, oh, she's got this nice, impeccable handwriting, and, trying to be nice and say, oh, yeah, I've gotten a letter from her, Look, that's just how Hollywood is. They'll say nice things, but they like the undertones, the things that you kind of said that on the side, like those throwaways, shows us, yeah, you know the kind of person Meghan is. It's all a front, okay? He knows that she is not the kind of person that is a nice person, okay? But he has to say these nice things. And Absolutely. Meghan just has not done nice things for this man. I mean, she really outed him when he made that post about her and him on the set, and Meghan made him take it down. And she's just the kind of person that is not truly a good friend unless you can do something for her,
100%.
And we can see that.
And Amanda Hirsch, it's like, look, I don't know this woman. I don't listen to her podcast. Okay. She seems very inane to me, but it's like, you're being used. You're being used, because she then admitted that she hasn't even met Meghan. Watch this.
That.
Have you ever met her? Have you guys?
I haven't met her, but so the way that happened was that her show was coming out, and I had said on my Instagram, where I say stupid shit, that, I am worried for Meghan, because you've been protective over her in the past.
What she's gone through is insane.
Right. So I am one of those people that's like, enough, leave her alone. So I said, I'm worried this trailer will have people at her throat again. And she wrote me a note saying, basically, thank you for being afraid for me, but don't be. Like, it'll be fine.
That's what the note said?
Yeah.
That's lovely.
I could quote for you exactly what I...
She's like, I know it word for word.
I know it word for word, but yeah.
Please don't. Please don't, Amanda. Please don't. I mean, it's just sad that she believes Meghan, right? Like,
right. And a lot of people do. A lot of people believe her fakeness. But, once you have truly a relationship with Meghan, you find out fast, very quickly, that she really is not a nice person. I think being far apart from your Meghan and, the relationship, the more likely you are to think that she is a nice person. But the closer you are, more contact you have with her, then you truly see the real her. And so that's how she's able to fake people out, by keeping the distance between, these people. So they kind of like her from afar.
The podcast that has actually been revealing the tea about Meghan Markle this week is The Royalist, hosted by a friend of the show, Tom Sykes. But he got a fascinating interview with Matt Donnelly. Now, Matt Donnelly may not be a name that you know, but what he has to say is incredibly interesting. So he is one of the main reporters at Variety magazine, which is the Hollywood Bible, very trusted by the elites and the broadcasters and the celebrities in the USA. And what was so fascinating is that he was actually the man who interviewed Meghan Markle for Variety all of those years ago when they were still on side. Post her falling out with Netflix, he publishes the big expose, the big tell-all, with all of the damning information about why Netflix and senior Netflix executives turned their back on Meghan and Harry and why they were such a nightmare. And he's opening up in a lot more detail in this interview. We're going to analyze as we go. But first, he explains why Hollywood just doesn't really want to work with these two anymore.
One of the things that Meghan told me in her cover story from 2022 that I wrote was that a lot of the way they see content is the way they see the world, which was, quote, through their love story. So I can imagine it'd be really, irresistible to find Meghan and Harry in a conference room at a studio and have, a rom-com writer or a big actress like a Kate Hudson come in and have the two of them sitting there and say, yeah, this is a part of our DNA. This is a part of our ethos. This is what we want to put in the world. Let's make a rom-com together. But that hasn't happened. So I think that, as you said, hindsight is 2020, but I think it was I couldn't quite tell you why it hasn't happened. But I think one of the more important things that I uncovered in my report from last week is that top talent doesn't have a huge interest in working with them.
And specifically, the Kardashian disaster. Do you remember it was when Meghan said that she didn't want the photos up from Chris's 70th because she hadn't signed a consent form, but there was no consent form. Anyway, he just says that was the moment where a lot of celebrities turned because it was a 5-car PR pileup. But first, when I left the MSM and started building Outspoken as an independent outlet, I'll be honest, it was a lot. Suddenly you're not just the journalist anymore, you're the producer, the scheduler, the marketer, the tech support, the brand manager, and the person trying to make all of it actually work as a business. When you're starting something on your own, it can feel exciting, but also pretty overwhelming. Every day there's a new decision to make, a new task to sort, a new hat to wear. And if you don't have the right systems in place, that to-do list can take over your life. That's why having the right business partner makes all the difference. And for millions of businesses, that partner is Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands that are only just getting started. So whether you're launching a new product, building a membership brand, or finally setting up that online store you've been putting off, Shopify gives you what you need to get moving. You can get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand's style. It also helps accelerate your content creation. Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools that can write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your product photography. And when it comes to actually getting the word out, Shopify makes that easier too. You can create email and social media campaigns so you can reach customers wherever they're scrolling or strolling. And best of all, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. So if you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your £1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.co.uk. Go to shopify.co.uk. That's shopify.co.uk.
The narrative from the Sussexes at the time was that they never signed an NDA to release, their images that were photographs from the party. But later, we saw just a few months ago, Kim Kardashian spoke out and said that actually they did sign releases for their photos to be published. And they ran into, as they stubbed their toe, PR-wise, and ran into some bad optics. And instead of taking responsibility and apologizing, they tried to shift blame. So I think, to me, that's a microcosm of what it's like for established show business people who probably want to be welcoming to the son of a beloved figure like Diana, to someone who does so much for mental health, to someone who is a big supporter and founder, I believe, of the Invictus Games. But these are the kind of situations you find yourself in. You know what I mean? That even extending a simple social invite turns into a 5-car PR pileup. So I think that to me is quite demonstrative of what it's like to even do the most minimal, like the lowest bar possible socializing with these two. So imagine what it's like to be in business with them.
And talent, apparently, and remember, this dude knows how talent feel, don't want the hassle of working with them.
Because I think on one way I could absolutely see, talent not wanting the added layer of headache. These are a highly scrutinized couple that often press breaks bad around them. So it might be a curse of just like how they're covered. But then, as you see from my report, what kind of partners they are, at least for my sources, and how they work and sort of like, the process by which they want to influence and touch material might be seen as too invasive. And also, you're talking about two people who aren't really proven in this space. So if you're coming on board to partner with someone who's a massive, prolific producer of film and television, do you really want to humor opinions and feedback with people who've never really done this outside of unscripted projects about themselves?
So, P-Dina, you just cannot underestimate how absolutely damning this is for Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's future in Hollywood. Like, Variety reports what the entertainment industry thinks and feels. And it's quite clear that these two are now viewed as toxic. And remember, when they moved, they had so much support, so much money, so much backing. They have completely screwed it up themselves.
Absolutely. And I think this is more confirmation. We see it written in these Hollywood publications, but then to hear it spoken about, and it validates what we're all thinking and what we're reading, to hear what he has just said. And you can only imagine like what this does for Harry, knowing that they are toxic. How are you going to make your money? How are you going to have a future in America when you can't get the partnerships or the door to open for you to even try to make the money you need to make to live there? I think Harry sees the writing on the wall. This is why I believe he wants to go back. Meghan is a very tenacious person. She's going to just ignore it and keep trying because she feels entitled to it. But it truly is a wake-up call to the future of Harry and Meghan in California. This to me is so glaringly obvious what is going to happen for them. Meghan is essentially done. She is blacklisted in Hollywood. She needs to recognize that and try something new. Go away would be a good option right now. Just disappear because your future is not in Hollywood.
He also, P-Dina, stood by the story that Meghan Markle's lawyer fully denied. Now, this is that when she was annoyed in a meeting with Netflix executives what she would do, like a Zoom meeting, by the way, this was like one of the down the line Zoom meetings, she'd just turn the camera off. And her lawyers denied them, said, oh no, it's all because she's a busy mom, despite the fact she's got 3 nannies. But he stands by the story, P-Dina. Watch.
You have an amazing detail in your piece that when Meghan got annoyed in a Zoom meeting, she'd turn her camera off.
Yes, that has been one of the stickiest parts of the story, but multiple sources told me that when Meghan would sit, especially in meetings regarding her brand, as ever, her lifestyle and homewares range, that when she heard feedback she didn't like, or heard ideas that she didn't think were appropriate, she would turn her camera off to express her displeasure. It's certainly an interesting way to provide feedback in Hollywood.
Very interesting, P-Dina. He is standing by that story.
Oh my goodness, Meghan. You can try to explain it away all you want via your lawyers or whatever, but the truth has been spoken. Okay. You are outed. You are done. Okay. This has to be so hurtful for, I think, Meghan and her brand, because it just shows you how people are onto her and they're not afraid to say what needs to be said. And like, what can you do now when you try to divert, cover it up, or, make excuses for things? Someone's always going to come back and tell what really happened. It just proves you as a liar. And I think it also could be very damaging. Well, we all know she's a liar, but like, try to come out with a book. No one's going to believe you because you're always going to be outed by things that you're saying, because the truth will be revealed eventually. Like, this woman is so unbelievable, Dan, how dumb she is.
I know. And then we've still got something. We've still got Australia to look forward to this month, P-Dina.
Yes.
And did you see this week? This was one of the most gross stories for me about this disaster. 3 major members of the Sussex squad, who have been some of the most revolting, made it past the vetting to get into the event as VIPs, including, by the way, Zandy Sussex, who is one of the worst. And she has posted in the past things like Kate's cancer has always been one big scam. We knew this then and we know it now. They're really going all out and bringing back fake cancer. She's posted a childhood picture of William and said the signs of violent tendencies were always there. And then here's her latest tweet. Drum roll, please. I'm so excited to share that I got a ticket to the girls' weekend with Meghan. Yes, I'll be inside and we'll make sure to bring you updates. And I went VIP, so our table gets a photo with Meghan. Let's go. So the vetting, P-Dina, doesn't extend to keeping out members of the vile gang of internet trolls, the Sussex squad. Indeed, Meghan probably wants those revolting people there.
Yeah, because she wants to divert the attention to other people and how, like the other royals, and she'll get that from these people because they are vile. They are disgusting. They are people that speak things that Harry speaks out against, and Meghan, right? They are the bullies. They bully for the Sussexes. So, that's just another reason why you can't even, look at Harry and Meghan as being those voices of, supporting people who are bullied, because that's what they do via their supporters. And this is a clear example of it, and all the things that they're going to, what she said about Catherine. I mean, that's just completely disgusting.
Totally disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, P-Dina. It's going to be very interesting to see if any infiltrators get in who maybe aren't members of the Sussex squad, because they're the people who I want to hear from after the event, okay? Because we know we're not going to be able to trust the version of Zandy Sussex, but does anyone really want to pay $3,000? I mean, God, Anyway, P-Dina, fabulous stuff. Do make sure you subscribe to P-Dina's incredible YouTube channel for so much more royal news. P-D-I-N-A. You can find it on YouTube. And of course, I would love you to subscribe to the Royal Uncancelled After Show on Substack. Why? I hear you ask. Why do I need to do that? Well, because your support on Substack and the support that I've received from paid annual and monthly and founding members over the past 2 years allows me to do all of my work for Outspoken, all of my independent reporting outside of the mainstream media, not controlled by any billionaires, not part of the Royal Rota. I can do all of that because of the support of folk who pay to support me on Substack. So I would love you to be able to join. It is less than the cost of a price of a cup of coffee every month. And you get full access to the Royal Uncancelled After Show every single weekday with no advertising whatsoever. Loads of people wanted that, which is why there are no ads. And you can also communicate with me directly on there because we're a real family. So look, I know how tough times are. You can obviously subscribe for free as well. But if you can support me, it's just to let you know that my Substack supporters drive everything I'm able to do, pay for my guests, pay for my reporting, pay for my production team. So I am ever so grateful. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. Dan Wootton Outspoken is your no spin, no bias, no censorship outlet for independent news. We have no big tech backing or billionaires pulling my strings, but that does mean I need your support. So please hit subscribe on YouTube, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to Dan Wootton Outspoken on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It's totally free, but allows me to continue my promise to always keep fighting for you.